Okay, when we're talking about rate, we're talking about things that are time dependent. Up till now, we have been measuring time in labs, but we haven't really talked about things that depend upon time. So now we're going to do that. Again, our four systems, as always, that we talk about are mechanical, thermal, electrical, and fluid. So we're going to talk about rate in terms of all of those. Well, in the mechanical world, there's three things we'll talk about. We'll talk about speed. Speed is nothing more than distance divided by time, length divided by time. Acceleration, which that's a newer concept, which is going to be the change in velocity divided by time. That's a unique one in the fact that it has unique units. They're either meters per second squared or feet per second squared. And then I'll show you in class why those units are what they are. But that's the other one. The other thing we'll talk about is something called a production rate. Production rate is one of those Captain Obvious things. It's how many things are produced per minute, per hour, per second, something like that. For thermal, we will talk about a heat flow rate. In other words, how fast is heat flowing in or out of a substance, and we'll investigate what that depends upon. So heat flow rate is going to be in things like BTUs per hour would be an English unit, or you could have something like calories per second, which would be an SI unit. So that would be SI. That would be English. Remember, units are a big deal, so we need to take into account. Let me give myself some room down here for electrical and fluids both, so we don't get too jammed up. Electrical rate is one of the most important ones that we use, and that's current. Current is the number of coulombs per second. For current in equations, we use the variable I. It sounds silly, I know, but the variable is I. And a coulomb per second is what we call an ampere. And as you play around with electricity, we're going to do that a lot. There is no non-metric unit for this. It's just amp. It's the one place that both sides of the pond agree. Amps are electrical current. A half amp is what it will take to probably run maybe your Xbox, where your vacuum cleaner might take 10 or 12 amps. And then finally, under fluid rate, there are two that we're going to deal with. We're going to deal with a fluid flow rate, a volume rate, which is going to be obviously volume per time. So something like meters cubed per hour, cubic feet per minute. Is a common one used in the air conditioning industry. You can also have a mass rate. Sometimes it makes more sense to do that, where we would have something like kilograms per second or grams per second, something like that. Now, this is what we're going to investigate in the rate unit